Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks. Another 2-2 week. Not too shabby because we're still 31-17 on the year, 65% against the spread after 12 full weeks. That's amazing. So you can't wait to get to the picks. And might I add, the final picks that you're going to get for free. So let's start like we began many, many years ago with a little viewer mail, little letter. This is in response to my AOL diatribe last week, bashing Nick, whatever his name is. Yeah, you forgot already too. Because again, he's a nobody. But here's what happened. I made fun of the contest. I didn't make fun of Nick. I made fun of the contest, and I believe we even made a joke about me saying, when I Googled nobody, that's what came up. But still, the person who got me in that audition had the gall to send this letter. This is highly unprofessional. First off, I recommend you for this. This is my workplace, and this is how you thank me? Yes, and here's something I didn't get a chance to say to you. You're welcome. A lot of people spent time here Monday, not just you, and the semifinalists spent time here on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Auditions are just that. Maybes? Please, I've been through enough auditions where I've been on board to legitimize it, like 2 different Friars Roast contests and a couple of New York's Funniest contests, and every time I go in knowing exactly what I'm getting out of it, exposure. But here's the problem. When you are a dying company, AOL, and you need to do some kind of promotional smash and grab like this and hire some handsome son of a bitch that looks like Nick, fine. But don't do it when someone has this kind of access that can come back at you. I'd read the letter, but I'm terrified, and I don't want to lose other connections, not just say, well, I heard Mindspring and Earthlink.net are coming down on me. Oh my God, they shut my Friendster account. Get current, get off my back, and get online and start subscribing to these picks, because they're going to cost a little more, because I'm worth a hell of a lot more than your Nick Cregan free garbage. And now, Geno's Picks. My first pick, the Rams are giving 6.5 to the Raiders in St. Louis. Sure, the Rams got off to a terrible 4-1 start, but that was back when they were starting Austin Davis and Zach Stacy. But since then, they've converted to Trey Mason and Sean Hill. And in that time, they've not only won 3 of their last 6 games, but those 3 wins have come against, you ready? The Seahawks, the Niners, and the Broncos. 3 teams that were playing in the AFC and NFC championship games last year. So this is a completely different team than they were 2 months ago. And maybe they're losing to my Chargers last week was a good thing, because they have yet to win back-to-back games all year. So what are we saying here? That the Rams are a legitimate contender? No. But I think we can officially say that St. Louis is on fire. Come on, people in Buffalo would kill to have a building like this right now. Anyway, take the Rams and lay the TD. Oh, if you're sensitive to what happened earlier this week, you better stop watching. My next pick, the Browns are getting 3.5 from the Bills in Buffalo. Yup, I was wrong last week when I said Kyle Orton doesn't cover. Had I said he doesn't cover against NFL teams, I would have been spot on, because they certainly didn't play one Monday night in Detroit in the Jets. I genuinely feel for my buddies who are Jets fans, because at this point, watching Geno Smith and Michael Vick at QB is like watching The Fugitive. You're watching a guy who's missing an arm ruin your life. This game will be played in Buffalo, where the field is ready, because Mother Nature was nice enough to warm things up after last week's plan of paying 100 people $50 an hour to clean the field backfired, because they didn't think to offer 200 people $100 to clean the highways. That shows how much foresight Buffalo has. Anyway, bad news, Buffalo, because a loss here completely ends your sinking playoff hopes. And now Brian Hoyer has Josh Gordon back in full swing, which will make 2 cities that are going to be completely destroyed because of the Browns this week. Ha ha! Take the Browns and lay the 3.5 you're getting. There's no way he'll do it again. Oh, yeah? The Cardinals are giving 1.5 to the Falcons in Atlanta. Could the NFC South be any more embarrassing? Not only would the 4-7 Falcons be hosting a playoff game if they started today, but the Buccaneers are even in a more ridiculous position, because at 2-9, they're not only 2 wins out of first place, but they're 2 spots out of the #1 overall draft pick. To quote Kramer, they're at the nexus of the universe, Jerry. The Falcons are the best team in the worst division in football, but the Cardinals are the best team in the best division in football. So how do you think this plays out? Well, I think the Cardinals are going to go into Atlanta and just bully them all over the place. In fact, the last time I saw anyone walk into a place and push someone around like this, it was Michael Brown robbing a convenience store. Yeah, that's how it all started, people. Take the Cards and the 1.5 they're laying, people. Yeah, I think you see where this is going. Which brings me to my Double Your Money Monday Night Betters, I like to call it. How about we do 10-3 on Monday nights? You ready? The Miami Dolphins are traveling to MetLife Stadium where they're giving 7 to the Jets. People, Geno Smith, yeah, that's his steely gaze right there, is taking snaps at QB. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I refuse to call him the starter because that would be like calling me the closer when I go up at 1:55 a.m. in Manhattan. I'm just the guy who can fill the spot. And that's all the ever-increasing embarrassment the QB position has become for the Jets. Of course, you have to start Geno Smith in hopes that he can possibly not suck so badly that you can shop him as a backup, because Geno Smith still has a what? Tell him, Geno. Yep, a 1% chance of having a future in the NFL, unlike Michael Vick, who has none. And it galls me as a football fan that he had the balls to say during the bye that the Jets would have won more games if he'd been the starter. Yeah, if he'd been the starter for any of the 9 teams that have beaten them this year. Because the only thing less accurate than Vick this past Monday night turned out to be the evidence in the Michael Brown case. That's 4 for 4. Take the Dolphins, lay the 7. You better pay up next week.